Alright, so you can hear me.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Alright, that's cool. I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit. My box all in the way. Alright. The beat, I made the beat myself. Now we gotta get these shows out to y'all more often, man. There's so much information that I'm slacking on getting y'all. That's on me. So we gonna start here. This show is, as you see, the True Origin Show, right? Of course, we got For the Fatherless, Prophet Preaches. We got our Science and STEM show. We have tons of shows going on, but this show, okay, I have to make sure I still heard myself. This show, right? The purpose of it is episode 1, True Origin. So what does that mean? I'm gonna be here telling the true origin of, Black people. The reason being is because not only is not taught about in schools and things of that nature, but like we have put up here even some bills, and we're gonna try to continuously do this every show, is show the bills in schools, right? So we can see actually what is able to be taught. And that's why, I'm trying to do the true origin, right? Because some of the stuff in school, the teachers are limited on teaching. They're still capable of getting a good education to the children, but they're limited in some of the things they're able to teach about. So we're gonna go through this here. We got a good show lined up, pretty good show lined up. You can catch the clips later. If you want to catch me on Twitch, Prophet Gaming 314. Alright. Instagram, Prophet Preaches. Twitter, Prophet Preaches. Facebook, Prophet Clips. Okay. Now, when we go here, right, I got pulled up for us. Again, I made all the beats. I gotta make all the beats. The video below is me in the Amazon rainforest, doing research. I do a lot of things to try to make this come together, So let's read through this, right? As you can see here, I'll zoom in a little bit for you, in case you're not capable of seeing it yet. Okay, I see how that looks. So we'll read it right here. We have it. So what you see here at the top is what the Florida Senate, 2022. This was changed in 2022, right? This is the curriculum that they're able to teach over it. So there's a specific, we can read through the whole thing, but there's a specific part that I want to, look at in this one, and then I have one from Texas, and I want to look at both of those, right? And it will give a little background to why I'm doing my part and why we're starting where we're starting today. Okay, so let's go down here. It was page 5, I believe. Okay, so here, I'm gonna make this just a tad bit. Boom. Okay, now y'all won't be able to see every single word, but you can see most. Now,
it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
I want to start here. I want to start on F. The history of the United States, including the period of discovery, early colonies, the War for Independence, the Civil War, the expansion of the United States to its present boundaries, the World Wars, and the Civil Rights Movement to the present. American history shall be viewed as factual, not as a constructed not as constructed, shall be viewed as knowledgeable, teachable, and testable, and shall be defined as the creation of a new nation based largely on the universal principles stated in the Declaration of Independence. So right there is already starting you off where, you know, their history and learning about their history is perfectly okay, right? It's perfectly fine, and nobody's gonna get mad at you when they want to tell the history that they want to tell. The history of the Holocaust, 1933 through 1945, the systematic planned annihilation of European Jews and other groups by Nazi Germany. And if you're in the chat, what's up with you? I see you, and I appreciate it. So the systematic planned annihilation of the European Jews and other groups by Nazi Germany, a watershed event in the history of humanity, to be taught in a manner that leads to an investigation of human behavior. Like, they don't want you to just learn about this. They want you to learn about this, and they want you to start thinking, how could someone do such a thing? They want you to really think about what happened to these people. And that's right? An understanding of the ramifications of prejudice, racism, and stereotyping. Oh my gosh, that is great. And an examination of what it means to be responsible and respectful. A respectful person for the purposes of encouraging tolerance of diversity in a pluralistic society, and for nurturing and protecting democratic values and institutions, including the policy definition and historical and current examples of anti-Semitism as described in their code. And then they're going to keep going, right? They're going to keep going through a bunch of this. Even right here, the second week in November shall be designated as Holocaust Education Week, you know, which is great. We got our own month. I'm not mad at that. But I want to get down to us and H. And it says, the history of African Americans, including the history of African peoples before the political conflicts that led to the development of slavery and the passage to America, the enslavement experience, abolition, and the contributions of African Americans to society. Instructional materials shall include the contributions of African Americans to American society. And then they go on to the elementary principles of agriculture. And then from there, the true effects of all alcoholic and intoxicating liquors and beverages. Now, I'm bringing that up because, yes, you're not going to see them tell you that when you read about what happened to us, that you need to be looking at it and it should be taught from a place of learning and thinking and ramifications of what happened. It's right here in the Texas code. I mean, the Florida State Government Senate bill is right here. Like, you can go look this up. Like, it's specifically not told to be taught a specific way, and that's where we step in. We gotta do that teaching, right? And then if you go here, this one is even, I like theirs even better, the way Texas did theirs, because it's easier to digest for, you know, the average person as well. Here, let me zoom in for a second. Okay, I want to look at this, right? It says what? It says each school district that offers kindergarten through grade 12 shall offer as a required curriculum. That's what it says. It says a foundation curriculum that includes English, language arts, okay, mathematics, cool, science, great, and social studies, you know, consisting of Texas, United States, and world history, governments, economics, with emphasis of the free enterprise system and its benefits, and geography. Good. All of that is good, right? Exercise, mental health, but I want to get here. This is the best part, right? Look at this. It says factor and warning signs. This is right here. This is in Texas. They just changed this, so baby, everybody probably don't know about it. This is in their curriculum. It say the warning signs of physical education, fine arts, career technology education, technology applications, and then it says religious literature, including the Hebrew scriptures, Old Testament and New Testament, and its impact on history and literature and personal financial literature. Now Now, this is a warning sign. They have this as a warning sign in their actual code. And you can go look this up, okay? So it's not like, I know someone that's a teacher, and they told me that, and there's tons of laws on this, that they can't teach African history the way that it should be taught. They can't talk about it in depth because there are laws passed that stops them from literally doing this. So when we go to, we got to start from the beginning. You know, I'm a scientist, so we got to try to find the origin, right? And when we looked at it from a scientific perspective, the origin of humans came back to Morocco, in Jebel Around and Morocco. Okay, and you know, some people know this, of course. Some people, they don't know this yet, but this is where the first actual modern human have been found. All right, so I have to show the origin because this is not an attack on white people when I say this, but black people are the root. We are the roots. In my scientific research, we look at the wetlands, right? We're looking at the soil, and my specific team is trying to add looking at the soil into the actual metrics of grading wetlands because it wasn't there before. So everybody just look at the outside. Nobody was looking at the soil. Well, that's my point. We are the soil. We are the root. Like the first black person, they came from Africa. So like the first people, like when science go back, they were black.
It was a nightmare.
They were us.
It was a nightmare.
They were the root. They were us. That's why I'm here to tell the story each episode, right? Because you can't teach it like that in school. So I feel sorry for a lot of us, right? We don't get to hear. We are not just, African American history and tell how, we were in Egypt. No, we weren't just in Egypt. Everything started from us first. Let's get that out the way. Like, because as we go on, I'm going to tell you how we lived here. But as we go on and they talk about Neanderthals, right? Neanderthals, they developed from us. So that was the ones that traveled, out into where it was cold, and they developed into Neanderthals. Well, they had to mix back with us in order to become more like us again. And then Neanderthals died off because we were the original. We are we're the root. You have to come back to the root. It don't matter. Like right now, if you look at the world, everybody is going to say, look at China, look what they've built. Or look at America, look what they've built. But the true history is that we are the root. It all started from us. And we know what happened, and that's why we're going to get to it in this entire series. That's what the whole series is for, where we tell the true history on how we got from here in Morocco all the way to current day, modern day now, where, the originals are looked at as the ones that are bad, or the ones that aren't intellectual, the ones that aren't smart, or the ones that are the killers or the robbers. We're not looked at as the originals no more. When we walk this earth, we're not looked at. And I challenge us to look at ourselves that way. That's why I'm starting here. Because if black people can see we're the original people, right? In Morocco, that's us. That means that the mutations that, no offense, the white people had to adapt to, we already got that. That's a blessing. In actual nature, that's a blessing from God. This skin is an advantage. We are able to live in the natural world and live under the sun and receive the minerals and vitamin D from it naturally. And there's no knock to them. It's just the truth. That's why, they got to come back home to us. we always wonder why they always watching us, why they always, looking at us, why they always care about us. It's really a good thing. If they don't know it, we should know it, which is what? Because we're the root. Like a tree, it's not just the tree, it's the root. And sometimes, you're only going to see the tree. You're not going to look at the root. Now, when we look here, right, this is nature.com. This is their article. And it's showing you where they specifically found. Let me make sure I zoom in for y'all. It's showing specifically where they found. Here is Jebel on the map here. You should be able to see it. And this is the people. They're showing you exactly where they found the skull here in Morocco. And I liked this article because it had a nice set of pictures to show some of the tools that they found as well. Made a lot of them out of limestone, which is limestone is one of the weaker stones that we have. It's not as strong as like granite, right? So it's easy to degrade down if you keep beating it to make it into a tool. When I look at this, it's just funny. Like I think of a shank, like in jail people is making shanks, but like, yeah, we've been doing that. That was like the first engineering invention, bro. Like, it's crazy they get reduced back to making just shanks again, or not every single person, but you get the point. But they found these at the sites as well to show that, and I'm just scanning through here so you can see all the sources. I want to get to the real life pictures of here they are of the actual tools that were used. And it's kind of crazy to just think about, like, we using forks and spoons. This is really what they had to use to survive every day. Like, to them, this was like magical. You know what I'm saying? This was like to have one of these tools. You was that dude, Yeah, even back then, that's my point. We always was using our brain. We was always making inventions, right? We was always trying to be better. And I'm gonna be doing shows all day. That's the point. This is just, I gotta start with this show. And then you can look this up as well if you want to get the science version of it. They're showing how they tested all of the rock that they found. So that's what they're doing here. There should be a specific part where it's telling you the methods. Yeah, right here. Luminescence. Dating of heated flint artifacts is based on accumulation of metatestable changes in the crystal. So it's telling you the process that they use in order to examine each of these rocks. Now, I want to read just a few more. I want to start here. Now, on my actual, because, biologists, biological sciences is my field. So, I got to start from the beginning, right? The study of life. So on my actual science show, Science and STEM, that is the show where I'm going to talk more, or where I talk about the actual start of life from the very beginning, so we can learn it from a scientific perspective and just see if it makes sense to everybody and see how they feel about it. Have a discussion. The goal is always to get that information out. The vessel will one day perish, but the energy can never be created nor destroyed. So as long as I'm passing out godly energy, then that will live on even when I'm not here. So here, as you can see, now this is based off of the skulls that have been found, and I like this map here because it shows exactly where each skull were located, which you can see a lot of the skulls are really found here. And it seems as if, because they now have found Jebel here in Morocco, right? To me, at least, it seems that they have scrolled themselves and migrated downward as, they develop. Because why would you go from here and then you find more in more higher frequency as well? You find more skulls when you go further away from Morocco. But nonetheless, the fossils suggest that faces evolved modern features before the skull and brain took on the globular shape seen in the hurdle fossils and in living people. Okay. And then, where's my last one? I want to look at this one real quick as well.
It was a nightmare.
Because it's showing 300,000 years ago, the oldest Homo sapien, right? And again, it's talking about the fragments. So, yeah, right. Because I wanted to right here. So it was saying that no scientists suggest that Homo sapiens first lived in what's now Morocco, but that was because so much early evidence for our species have been found in South Africa and East Africa, but fragments of 300,000-year-old skulls, jaw, and teeth, and other fossils at Jebel around a rich site, also home to advanced stone tools, which I showed y'all, are the oldest Homo sapien remains yet found. So again, I just wanted to show multiple sources that is confirming what I'm saying, that we've been out here, bruh, before, no offense, there was white, Asian, any of that, Native American, anything. It was the root. And we have to challenge ourselves to carry ourselves like the root. That's the only way other people will understand that we are the root. We can't force anybody else. We only can see what the facts are and move according to the facts. They follow us. We say they follow us in entertainment. They follow us in sports. Yeah, and they will follow us if we are godly. If we come together, they'll follow us. If we respect each other, they'll follow that. They'll have no choice. Because on my other show, it's on us. That's where I'm specifically talking to black people, men and women, and please tune into that show, where I'm specifically saying how much it's all on us. It's on us. We got to come together. It's not about nobody else. And this is a part of that. By telling our history, hopefully that can help us come together. Okay, now,
It was a nightmare.
I want to one more time scroll down. Our ancestors used stone tools as long as 3.3 million years ago, and by 1.75 million years ago, they adopted the Aquiline culture, a suit of chunky hand axes and other cutting implements that remained in vogue for nearly 1.5 million years. Now, it say humans took a leap in the tool tech with the Middle Stone Age, some 300,000 years ago, by making those finely crafted tools with flake points and attaching them to handles and spear shafts to greatly improve hunting prowess. Projectile points like those collected dated back to 300,000 years. And that's where it's an estimate. That's what I was trying to read in the last one for you. It's an estimate, so technically it doesn't have a specific date, but they use those methods in order to study when and what time these could have been used. Now, it's just crazy. Again, they had to do all of this just so they can put this on the spear, just so they can kill somebody, right?
It was a
Now,
nightmare.
I'm
It
gonna
was a nightmare.
quickly end the show here because I don't want to go past the 30-minute mark for the show. But on the next show, I'm gonna explain how we went from here to going into Africa, right? How did we go from any of this living in Africa? How did we go from this to Egypt? How did we go from this to religion? If we were the original people, right, and we see it was black people, then how do we go from black people to now kingdom and religion? Because why would we bring religion into it, right? Africa has been known as the most ancient religious place, more religious than any other place.
It was a nightmare.
And we should know why. Even Jesus studied the Bible in Africa. That's in the Bible. So tune in on the next one. We got a lot of shows. Prophet Preaches tomorrow. I got a great show for you tomorrow. And I just hope you tune back in. Have a good day.